Chapter 31. Liberation in the Stars. The galaxy stretched out before them, a vast expanse teeming with both beauty and peril. As the Space Lords embarked on their daring mission, they were acutely aware of the challenges that lay ahead. Each team, led by a commander, sub-commander, or experienced team leader, was prepared to confront the formidable Drexarian fleet. The strategy was clear and meticulously planned. Teams of 100 Space Lords each were assigned specific Drexarian ships to target. The element of surprise was crucial. Utilizing the advanced technology of the ship-to-ship portal located in the throne room, they would teleport directly inside the enemy vessels. The operation commenced with precision. As each team activated the portal, they braced themselves for the unpredictable conditions they would face. The Space Lords materialized within the Drexarian ships, their sudden appearance catching the Drexarian crew completely off guard. The battles that ensued were fierce and chaotic. The corridors of the Drexarian cruisers echoed with the sounds of combat as the Space Lords engaged their surprised foes. Despite the Drexarians' advanced weaponry and training, they were unprepared for the Space Lords' enhanced abilities and tactical acumen. The Space Lords moved with a fluidity and coordination that spoke of their unity and shared purpose. One after another, the Drexarian ships were overtaken. The Space Lords, employing a combination of brute force and strategic strikes, quickly neutralized the Drexarian defenses. Their advanced armor and combat skills, coupled with the element of surprise, turned the tide in each encounter. As they secured control of the cruisers, the Space Lords also focused on liberating the conscripts who had been pressed into service by the Drexarians. These individuals, once freed, were met with a choice: join the ranks of the Space Lords and fight for their freedom, or be transported to a safe location where they could live free from the clutches of their oppressors. The operation was not without its challenges. The Space Lords encountered pockets of fierce resistance, and in some instances had to make strategic retreats to avoid heavy casualties. However, the overall success of their mission was undeniable. Ship after ship fell into their hands, a significant blow to the Drexarian fleet's might. As the liberated ships rendezvoused at the Crinus cluster, a sense of triumph and hope filled the hearts of the Space Lords. They had achieved what many would have deemed impossible, striking a decisive blow against the Drexarians and beginning the construction of a formidable fleet of their own. Knowing that with each Drexarian ship attacked and taken, the next would be that more difficult to take, all commanders and sub-commanders deployed last, allowing others to have the greater chance of success. By the time they deployed with their teams, the fight was on from the start. Element of surprise had all but vanished. The mission was in full swing, with Nakia and her team launching a daring infiltration of a Drexarian command ship. The team, armed with enhanced abilities, raced through the throne room portal directly into the heart of the enemy vessel. Their arrival was met with immediate resistance as they fought to secure the throne room, which they planned to use as a strategic fallback point. As they advanced through the ship, the Drexarians unleashed a horrifying new weapon. It was a corrosive acid, derived from a species they had conquered centuries ago, now repurposed to counter the formidable armor of the Space Lords. The Space Lords were initially caught off guard by this unexpected threat as one of their members, struck repeatedly by the acid weapon, let out a cry of anguish. The others could only watch in horror as their comrade quickly dissolved into a melting mass, their armor and body disintegrating under the potent chemical attack. The grisly scene served as a grim reminder of the Drexarians' merciless tactics and the dangers they still faced. Undeterred by the loss, Nakia rallied her team. They pushed forward with renewed vigor, their resolve hardened by the sacrifice of their fallen comrade. The corridors of the command ship reverberated with the sounds of intense combat. Nakia led with lethal precision, her movements a blend of strategy and instinct. Her team followed in perfect synchrony, each member playing their part in the fierce battle. They fought their way towards the control center, encountering stiff resistance from the Drexarian forces. Despite the advantage of their enhanced armor and combat skills, the Space Lords had to be cautious of the deadly acid weapons. Upon reaching the control center, Nakia and her team quickly disabled the Drexarian communication systems, cutting off the ship from the rest of the fleet. This strategic move disrupted the enemy's ability to coordinate a counterattack or call for reinforcements. Then they focused on liberating the conscripts aboard the ship. These individuals, once freed from their forced service, faced a crucial decision. Many, inspired by the Space Lord's bravery, chose to join them in their fight. Despite not possessing the enhanced armor or abilities of the Space Lords and being vulnerable to the Drixarians' death trumpet, they took up arms with whatever weapons they could find, ready to fight for their freedom. Lysander and Spartan Commander Leonix, epitomes of Spartan bravery and strategy, spearheaded a critical assault on a Drixarian supply ship. This ship was a linchpin in the enemy's supply chain, and capturing it was imperative for disrupting their war efforts. As the Space Lords engaged the ship, they utilized their enhanced Spartan tactics, combining ancient warrior skills with the technological advancements provided by the Sirens of Tenebris. They breached the ship's defenses with a force that was both precise and overwhelming. The battle that ensued was intense and brutal, fought in the close quarters of the ship's corridors and rooms. The Space Lords, armed with swords that had been amplified by Siren technology, cut through the Drixarian forces with devastating efficiency. Their blades, now capable of slicing through the once impenetrable Drixarian armor, turned the tide in their favor. However, the Drixarians were not without their own deadly arsenal. In a desperate bid to repel the invaders, they unleashed a new weapon, a device that emitted bolts of energy akin to lightning. These bolts, reminiscent of the wrath of Zeus, proved to be lethally effective. Several Space Lords were struck down, the electrical surge frying them within their armor, a grim testament to the Drixarians' ruthless innovation in warfare. Despite the shock and losses inflicted by this new weapon, the Spartan Space Lords did not waver. Lysander and Leonix rallied their forces, adapting their tactics to counter the threat. They pushed forward unyielding, their unity and adaptability shining through the chaos of battle. The clash was fierce, a testament to the Space Lords' skill and the Drixarians' desperation to hold on to their crucial supply node. But as the battle raged, it became clear that the Space Lords' combination of enhanced abilities and Spartan warfare prowess was overwhelming the enemy. After a grueling fight, the Space Lords emerged victorious. The supply ship, once a bastion of Drixarian strength, was now in their control. In the aftermath of the battle, they rounded up the Drixarian soldiers and technicians who had surrendered, securing the ship and ensuring no further threat from its crew. In that moment of victory, Lysander and Leonix, surrounded by their Spartan brethren, let out a thunderous roar of triumph. It was a roar that resonated not just through the ship, but across the cosmos, signaling the Space Lords' unbreakable spirit and their capability to strike significant blows against the Drixarian forces. Commander Augustus Varro, with a contingent of Roman warriors, targeted a strategic Drixarian outpost. The outpost was heavily guarded, but the Space Lord's surprise attack turned the tide. Varro, a tactician at heart, outmaneuvered the Drixarian defenses, leading his team to a decisive victory. The liberation of the outpost sent ripples across the Drixarian communication networks, further weakening their hold in the sector. But with each victory, the next became that much more difficult. The Crinis cluster became a hub of activity and a symbol of hope as the Space Lords regrouped after their coordinated strikes. The victories achieved in their daring assaults were pivotal, each one contributing to the gradual dismantling of the Drixarian Empire's control over countless systems. Aboard the fleet of reclaimed vessels, a sense of camaraderie and shared purpose filled the air. The Space Lords, along with their new allies from the liberated conscripts, convened to evaluate their progress and plan their next steps. The newly freed conscripts, inspired by the Space Lords' valor and the promise of freedom, had eagerly pledged their allegiance to the cause. Each conscript brought not only additional strength to the Space Lords' ranks, but also a personal resolve to fight for a future free from oppression. In the command center, holographic displays illuminated the faces of the leaders and strategists as they reviewed the sectors of the galaxy that had been liberated from Drixarian control. The map showed areas where the Drixarian influence had been weakened or eliminated, each liberated zone marked with symbols of victory. However, it also revealed the vast expanse of space still under the Drexarians' dominion. The Empire's reach spanned many galaxies, its fleet numbering in the untold thousands. The scope of their task was daunting, and the victories, while significant, were akin to pinpricks in the larger canvas of the cosmic conflict. Yet, these achievements were crucial. Every ship, every outpost taken from the Drexarians not only weakened their enemy, but also bolstered the morale of the Space Lords.